Welcome back. It's January 24th, 1988, Cops Coliseum, Ontario, Hamilton, Canada. 18,000 people in attendance to view the Rumble Royal. Next on Turnbuckle Talk.
They think they got the answers. I change the question.
Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass.
I will come away with the championship belt and see new horizons.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest and new Intercontinental Champion.
Gentlemen, welcome back to Turnbuckle Talk. Payne, Gretzky, B. Fluke, Bad Company Brown, EJ the Mouth, and your boy Charlie Hustle here to talk about more Golden Era wrestling. And this time we're focusing on the debut of the Royal Rumble. We joked at the top with being called the Rumble Royal. Bruce Pritchard tells this great story about how they were going through some machinations of the naming process with this event. Finally landed on the Royal Rumble because it had more glitz and glamour to the title. So we appreciate you, Britt. We appreciate you, Bruce Pritchard, for getting that correct. Gentlemen, you ready to rock and roll?
Yes, sir.
Round one.
For those of you who have not already, definitely make sure you go and like, follow, and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be bringing you more content related specifically to the WWF's Golden Era. But no better way to wrap up this season than to talk about the Pat Patterson creation. So gentlemen, let's start going around the room, and let's just start here. Leaving the Royal Rumble to the side, Payne, Gretzky, what stands out to you about the Royal Rumble 1988?
First of all, let's give a big shout out again to Bruce Pritchard, aka Brother, and the Pat Patterson, one of the greatest Intercontinental champions, because he was the first, right? So the Royal Rumble, what stood out to me, and I hate to be a negative Nelly, is the lackluster events before the Royal Rumble and surrounding the actual Royal Rumble match. The best match probably overall was the Bomb Angels against the Glamour Girls, which is usually a TV snack break for everyone.
Yeah.
The Bomb Angels are very technically sound and could wrestle, and the Glamour Girls, not so much. But they were fun to watch because they were brawlers, and you weren't used to seeing Glamour Girls brawl like that. You know what I mean? So just the lackluster booking to me. I wasn't a fan of the Steamboat in the Rude match. I wasn't a fan of the Islanders versus Wild Style. Just in the whole, it was too much going on. I just get to the Rumble already.
Right.
Yeah.
Bad Company Brown, outside of the Rumble, what stood out to you about this event?
No WWE champ at the time took part in the Rumble. You know, there was a lot of big names that you would have figured should have been in the Rumble. Hogan.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
You know, I would have loved to have seen Hogan in the first Royal Rumble. I would have loved to seen what was my man's name? Tony Atlas in the Rumble. But I think at that time he was having leg surgery, which they actually played on. They actually showed his surgery in wrestling, actually, on one of the Sunday morning broadcasts.
Wow.
You know, yeah. So, you know, probably that more than anything. You know,
The lack of gold. Okay, I can understand it. EJ, talk to me about outside of the Royal Rumble itself. What stands out to you about this event?
So are we talking of outside of the Royal Rumble match?
Yes.
Or
outside of the match, correct.
Look, how can nobody even talk about Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan? I mean, come on, guys. Why are we omitting Andre the Giant and Hogan, the signing? I think that was the whole event, if we think about it.
Stamp of approval.
Listen. It was you saw a lot of things going on there, including psychological warfare. Listen, you got Andre sitting in the corner. He's just sitting there, just staring down the little Hogan. And Hogan running around like a little mouse, like a chicken with his head cut off, not even realizing that he's already being beaten down. He don't even need a body slam, man. And did anybody notice that Hogan came into the ring without his red and yellow colors?
Yeah.
He came in with some no holds barred colors. Listen, man, what is this, a plug? Listen, all I know is that you got DiBiase over there sitting there trying to say, hey, listen, I'm buying this championship, psychological against Hogan right here. And then Andre coming in saying, hey, I'm about to give this championship once I win it to the $1 million man. Listen, that signing was a testament to great storylines being brought up. You don't even need to fight a match in order to win, and it brought in the crowd. That brought in more viewers than any of the other matches, because we had a whole bunch of mid cards. We had no real events, and you know what? Look, there was the buildup from Saturday night's main event prior to that, with Andre coming in to into the ring when Hogan's got doing his little celebratory stance, and then Andre sitting there headbutting him in the back of the head. Listen, all this is all precursor. I think that was the best match of the night, non-event, if you want to call it.
Okay. And B Fluke, we'll tie off the first round with you. Outside of the Royal Rumble itself, what stood out to you about this event?
Well, outside, you have to think about the marketing aspect of it. This was actually, instead of, I mean, first and foremost, it was the inaugural event for the Royal Rumble, but this was also aired on the USA Network. It wasn't aired on pay-per-view, as it would, like 89 would be the first Royal Rumble to be aired on pay-per-view. And not only that, I'm going to be very brief and very quick. The fact that it rivaled against Jim Crockett again, Bunkhouse pay-per-view. So Vince one-upped him once again by airing the Royal Rumble on USA. And I'm going to leave it at that.
I like that. Good, strong first round here. We're going to go 7 for Sam in the first round. We're going to go 7 for Payne in the first round. We're going to go 9 for B Fluke in the first round. We're going to go 8 -2 to EJ for omitting the disrespect that Andre had towards Jack Tunney at that table. Listen, you can't have this discussion without showing that. -2, that's going to bring you down to 6 in the first round. Good opening start, boys. I think discussing Royal Rumble 1988, Pat Patterson kind of selling Vince on this concept of 2 guys starting in the ring, a new opponent coming down every couple of minutes, and ending this thing with 1 guy standing tall. Vince saying, I hate this, get out of my office. And then they bring in the legendary Dick Ebersol, who falls in love with it. And Vince says, oh yeah, by the way, it's a great idea, right? Kind of gives us one of the better moments of this thing. Secondarily, there's a missed bonus point opportunity for you boys right away for not bringing up this obnoxious broad in the front row with the megaphone. I mean, come on, man.
Rudy.
That chick in herself almost ruined the event. So minus opportunity for you guys not capturing those 3 points, because that was a defining moment in the event. Let's go second round. Turnbuckle Talk, Royal Rumble 1988. We have to talk about the Rumble itself. And so Bad Company, Brown, I'm going to start with you. Give me something that stood out to you about the players who were actually inside of the Royal Rumble.
This is the first time we see the Warrior in one of these events. And I had high expectations for this motherfucker, and he goes out in 3 minutes. I had him pick to win, but, you know, Don Morocco and I can't remember the other wrestler at the time, you know, kind of doing him over, getting him out of there, but kind of early and whatnot. And also, what was up with Nikolai? because he actually came down
with Morocco.
Yeah.
Like I still don't understand that. How that what was took place. I don't get that. But
You know what's interesting about that? I just throw a quick caveat in here. The something. What's the name of the podcast? I can't remember. But the Bruce Pritchard podcast, they talk about that, and he was talking about how they had run kind of simulations a couple of months before at house shows to kind of see how it would go, and he was saying how the boys in the back were confused about the concept, and guys kept coming out when they weren't supposed to come out. There were things that were going wrong in the house shows, and this was another example of how confused the guys were about just this concept of this event, right?
Yeah.
It tells you when something's brand new like this, you see these kind of mistakes.
Well, I tell you one person that wasn't confused. One Man Gang came in there and he eliminated damn near what? He eliminated more people than anybody else. And he came in and what, place 19?
Yeah, like 18, 19, you're right.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Bad Company Brown starting out the second round rather strong here. EJ, I'm going back to you on this one. Inside of the Royal Rumble, 20 men. What stood out to you?
Listen, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Bret Hart. Bret Hart came in there, started out, was one of the first entrants in there.
You will be
Started out
executed.
Fighting and lasting for one of the longest times out of any of the participants. Kind of started off the whole trope of the Iron Man. Basically, he came in there. He's got Tito. Yeah, it was a little easy with some help there. Anvil comes in later, but that doesn't negate the fact that he's in there for a very long time. I think it was there over 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes or so. You know, and it wasn't even a thing. He kind of set the bar of what they would actually, focus on in future Royal Rumbles. About this whole concept of the Iron Man. No title along with it, but he kind of set the stage. The points of him doing that: one, he was a tag team participant. We didn't really get too many instances of him really in singles competition or standalone. How about I say that? Standalone, like, can you carry the crowd for as long as you can? And I guess he kind of set the bar and said, listen, he's the kind of wrestler that can kind of set the bar. Say, hey, look, I can hold the crowd while some of these other middling wrestlers can come in there. And as we keep going in, see how the crowd reacts. Yeah, it's a testament to his ability to kind of work the ring a little bit. Okay. So that's the Hitman Hart. One of my favorites. And then eventually it spurned him being able to get into singles competition and fight for that belt in the future. So the Royal Rumble is kind of like that stepping stone.
Well done. Well done, EJ, in the second round. We'll take that. Payne, we're going back to you here in the second round. Inside of the Royal Rumble, talk to me about something that stands out.
To somewhat piggyback off, there were a couple things actually to piggyback off of EJ's point. With Bret Hart going in number one and lasting for 25 minutes, it almost seemed like Vince had it set up in shifts. Let me get Bret and a couple of these guys in early and have them carry the match, and then I'll have the later guys come in and eliminate them and get them out of the ring. Just like he wasn't too sure if they were in shape enough to last the whole match. Another thing that stood out to me, because we all know I still watch wrestling now. Only 20 participants. There's up to 30 now, right? So that's very interesting. And one of the most interesting facts, because he's one of my favorite wrestlers, Jake the Snake Roberts gets the very first elimination in the very first Royal Rumble match.
Oh, there we
definitely did.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Good way to go on. Finish out strong there, Payne. And B Fluke, we're gonna go to you here to wrap up the second round of our Royal Rumble 1988 discussion. Inside of the Royal Rumble itself, talk to me about something that stood out to you.
Something that stood out to me was the fact that there were no main eventers. When I say in terms of main eventers, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Andre the Giant, Roddy Piper, they weren't in there.
Yeah.
And second, the fact you had a non-wrestler, referee Danny Davis, and he lasted almost 20 minutes in there. On top
He
of
could
that,
get his ass kicked.
he's a non-athlete. I mean, I would say that because of the fact he was a gimmick. He was known as the heel referee, the referee that cheated.
Yeah.
So that was my standout, referee Danny Davis.
Yeah, well done. Well done. I'm actually gonna so
Guys, I gotta throw in the fact that the reason why those guys weren't there is because they were running another show on the same night, a house show.
well,
Show with Macho Man, with a few other participants. Some of the big card names were in that event because Vince kind of was like skeptical on this whole Royal Rumble first time concept.
Right.
this isn't the first time that EJ makes a great point outside of his shot period. So these extra points are now irrelevant and don't help your score in the vote. So let's go ahead and tally up here for round 2. EJ will finish with 10. Probably could have been up near 15, 16 had he made that statement earlier, but I digress. We'll hold that. I have Ben here with a strong 12 in the second round. Payne's going to finish with 13 in that second round. And Sam actually hit one of our secret Turnbuckle Talk bonuses by mentioning that the Ultimate Warrior participated in his first pay-per-view. That stacks him at 22 points in the second round. Let's tally in our first round numbers. That's 16 for EJ. That's 21 total for Ben. 29 for Sam. 20 for Payne. Sam and Ben will advance here. EJ.
I'm coming for you, Ben.
You know, it's EJ. It's
Bring it
not
on.
lost on us that you often play outside of the ropes.
I knew you were in the bag for these other ham and eggers. I knew it. The huckster strikes again.
Didn't hear.
EJ is officially out of here. And now Payne, parting shots.
Hey, shout out to the unsung heroes, the referees, Dave and Earl Hebner. It was either Dave or Earl. I can never tell them apart. Hebner, referee, and Rick Rude and Steamboat. I just wanted to give a shout out to the unsung heroes of the wrestling world.
Excellent.
That was a great match, though. I don't know what you think.
Payne is officially out of here. Gentlemen, as we go into our championship round here of Turnbuckle Talk Royal Rumble 1988, Beef Luke, I'm going to start with you. Tell me something new about the Royal Rumble 1988.
Something new about it. It was first of all, it was inaugural. It was the Battle Royal put on a widespread, like it was highlighted as a main event type of thing. Usually, if you would see a Battle Royal on a regular championship wrestling or something like that TV show or Saturday night's main event. This is the first time it was like widespread as something like a must watch that drew a lot of viewers and that was actually aired on a major network, a cable network. I mean, NBC, ABC, CBS, we could catch it. We could get it on regular TV with a regular antenna, but this was on cable TV. So that being said, not only that, but it was the first time, we didn't have the big letters, the logo yet for the Royal Rumble. We had the little cursive handwriting, so with the little crown. And this was, this was probably Hacksaw Jim Duggan's highlight of his career. Him winning the Royal Rumble, besides him winning, the King Harley race. So I will conclude with that.
Yeah, valid point there. Bad Company Brown, let's go to you. Championship round. Tell me something new about the Royal Rumble 1988.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this was the first. I think this was the first pay-per-view, event where a title actually was changed hands. If I'm not mistaken, I think the women's World Tag Team belt was changed in one of the earlier matches. What were the girls' names, Steve? Shit. I'm about to call a chick pink lion and red lion. But that's not
What?
for some reason I was about to call them pink lion and red lion because they were but they were actually called what were they called actually? It was they didn't know their names, I don't think. They were just calling them the red girl and the girl in the pink.
Well,
basically.
it was the Bomb Angels versus the Glamour Girls in this card.
Yeah, but they were calling the Bomb Angels. They weren't calling them by name. They were calling them by color that they were actually wearing that in that match.
Jesus.
You know, but I think this was the first time we've seen a women's match. In one of these big events like this, change hands. So we had that. Hacksaw Jim Duggan actually won a match without disqualification for the first time in one of these things. What was your thoughts on Dino Bravo and his weightlifting?
Hey.
What was that something that is that actually in the record books, or are they going to negate that because of Jesse the Body actually with his hands on the and doing actually most of the work on that last rep?
So that's totally false. And Dino Bravo was absolutely, that record is valid. Kayfabe, of course.
It is,
but. In WWF land, because Jesse definitely didn't help him with the bar. So get out of here.
Nah, brother, I think you got to rewatch that. I think you got to rewatch that one, man.
We are going to wrap our championship round right there. B Fluke stacks on an additional 8 points. That's going to leave him at 29. I gave Sam 2 points in that championship round because of the disrespect to Dino Bravo. But because he had 29 coming in, that puts him at 31. And Bad Company Brown, for the first time in Turnbuckle Talk history, moves on to claim his championship. B Fluke, parting shots.
Parting shots. Tonight was your night, Bad Company Brown. Again, congratulations. May the best man win. One day you'll be a 2-time champ.
Oh, B Fluke with the shot on the way out. Boy, that's cold-blooded. That's cold-blooded. That's cold-blooded. Okay. So now...
You know what was cold-blooded about this whole thing? It was his party shot, and I got sent off the screen.
I noticed that.
It's all right, though. Yeah. Because...
Anything's possible!
I'm going to wear this. And B Fluke, if you ever want this back, there's a price for it. There's a price. Every man has their price. And I'm going to sign off by saying thank you very much, Charlie Hustle, for having us all a part of this Turnbuckle Talk. It definitely brought back memories. I can't wait for more to have more to come.
Let's bring the boys back into the ring here. It's no Royal Rumble if we don't have all the boys in here. So
go Sammy. Man, shoot. Man, I was wrong about you. Just forget everything I said before. I don't even remember the words ham and egg out here. I don't remember it. Listen, you're a champ. And I'm going to align myself with champions. You know what? How much is it going to cost to get that belt? Everybody's got a price.
Everybody does.
Win a title, Ricky Morton.
Everybody's got a price.
Listen.
No, remember when Ric Flair signs Ricky Morton up?
For Payne Gretzky, for Bad Company Brown, for B Fluke, for the Mouth EJ. This is an incredible season 1 opener. I appreciate you panelists coming on and rocking out with us, having a good time. For you guys out on YouTube, stay tuned. We got more to come. Greatest WWF managers is coming up. Greatest big belt holders is coming up. And we may just dive into the world of NWA, WCW, AWA. There might be some other things coming. So stay tuned. We'll be coming with those commentaries. Until then, Charlie Hustle, Turnbuckle Talk. We out of here.
Peace.
Arriba!
Here's my number, Sammy, man. Tag team, Sammy.